Copacabana, boom, boom. Copacabana, boom, boom. Copacabana, it's Copacabana. Straight out of the shop.
My name is Colt Cabana. I'm a professional wrestler based out of Chicago, Illinois. I come from the suburbs of Chicago, Deerfield. I wanted to be a professional wrestler my whole life. It's really the only thing I ever wanted to do. I mean, I remember the first time I ever saw professional wrestling. I would think I was 3 or 4 years old. Andre the Giant was getting his hair cut by 2 different guys, and I was enamored by it. I don't even remember anybody where I grew up who even enjoyed wrestling, so I really I couldn't share that with anybody. And but I knew it's what I wanted to do, and I don't know what drew me to it. I think it was the fact sports. I love sports, and these guys were very athletic, but there was also that showmanship to it. So at 18, I joined a wrestling school in Chicago, Illinois. It was on Irving Park in Foster, and I did that while I went to school in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Session of weakening.
There's a lot of comedic wrestlers that I really like. 1960s and 70s British wrestling. Les Kellett, Cat Weasel, Vic Faulkner. These guys were heavily influential on the way I wrestle, because the style I wrestle is justified comedy as opposed to just total Looney Tunes in the ring. Everything I can do can be justified. The idea of laughing and that bringing in an audience, a giant smile on a kid's face or a woman laughing, that's the satisfaction when I see them being entertained by not just pro wrestling, but a comedic style pro wrestling. I thought WWE would be the way that I would be known as a worldwide global performer. And when I was fired by the WWE, then I was like, oh, what do I do now? It upset me that the people in wrestling only thought you could make a living by being on global television. I knew that there was a way, because before I got to WWE, I did make a living. I knew it was possible. And so, yeah, out of desperation, I guess, maybe, or maybe out of spite, I was driven to dive into the internet world. Somebody introduced me to podcasts. I kept on saying, especially about Mark Maron's WTF, I kept on saying, man, I can't wait for somebody to do the wrestling version of this. Eventually, I was like, no one's going to do this. I should do this. I started teaching myself GarageBand and working with audio and asking people about audio. People started listening and getting into it. And now, all of a sudden, I have top names in the world of wrestling asking me to be on my show, and it's very humbling. And what I did was I branded myself using the internet, and now I have a weekly podcast, I have a weekly YouTube show, I have all different ventures on the internet that I use and social media, and really that's my way of reaching out to people every week. It's a great niche, and what I like best about it is I really feel like I'm part of this weird underground movement. When I was in WWE, I would step on eggshells, and I would second guess myself a lot. But now I'm my own boss, and I can't fire myself. So I do whatever I feel is right for me. Now all of a sudden I'm not waiting for a yes from somebody. I'm not waiting for a maybe from somebody, or hey, in 2 weeks, or we'll see if we can clear it through legal. I just do it, and I think that's been very empowering. I think now the end goal is to be happy. I don't need to go to a bigger corporation for fame or for money, really. That's not really the goal. The goal is to show people comedic wrestling and fun wrestling and have a good time with professional wrestling. I mean, I knew what I wanted to do since I was a kid, and this was it, and I wasn't going to stop.